Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin with ExtremeTerrain.com. Joining me today, we have Doug to talk about his 2021 Ford Bronco. It's a Big Ben trim. Doug is rocking the 17x9 Deviate Off-Road. It's the 886 simulated beadlock matte black wheel. It is a 17x9 with a negative 12 millimeter offset. Wrapped around the Deviate wheel is the Nexan Roadian MTX tire. It's a 37-1250 by 17, and making it all possible is that Rough Country 3.5-inch upper control arm suspension lift kit. Right off the bat, let's tell everybody at home what you were trying to achieve with your Bronco through this wheel and tire and suspension setup.
What I really wanted to achieve is something to fit my lifestyle. Mostly I don't take it off-road as much as some. That's why, I got the Big Ben. To be honest, that thing is going to see the road more than it's going to see the dirt. But when it does see the dirt, I want it to be somewhat capable, but also very, kind on the road.
Well, let's get into those wheels a little bit more here. The 17x9 Deviate Off-Road. It's the 886 simulated beadlock matte black wheel. It is a 17x9 with a negative 12 millimeter offset. Talk about, if you will, what really drew you to the Deviate wheel that you have on the truck.
The Deviate, I just love the look of most of their wheels. That one really struck me. I spent a long time looking for wheels that I actually really liked. And I thought, with the way they looked and the options they had and the price point it was kind of a no-brainer. The way the offset is, I have a Big Ben, so it doesn't have the huge fender flares, which I'm not a huge fan of. It has those smaller fender flares, and it has a good poke. The way it sticks out is really good.
And like you said, that 17x9-inch wheel with the negative 12 millimeter offset gives you aggressive stance. Now compare that, if you will, the current setup with how it looks versus stock. What's your opinion?
Well, I got the stock Big Ben, and generally it's not, to me, it just doesn't work. I literally had the truck 3 days before all these changes were made.
Let's get into the tires a little bit more, because again, you have the 37-1250 by 17. It's the Nexan. It's the Roadian MTX tire. Why did you go with this particular size, Doug?
Well, I wanted something aggressive, definitely a pattern on the sidewall, but I'm very happy with it. It's shown very capable on the trail, but it does great on the highway. Not a lot of noise. Now we're turned about 6,000 miles on them, and wear's good. They're just a great tire.
Why did you go with like the MTX style of tire tread pattern as opposed to maybe more of an all-terrain?
Part of this thing is function, but I love the way they look, and I was worried about how they would perform on the highway, but they do great.
It's relatively quiet, you were saying, and pretty smooth?
My daily is a Silverado, and I have some aggressive tires on that, and it's way louder than the Bronco.
Obviously, I'm sure it rides a little bit different compared to those factory Big Ben tires.
It does. And with the lift, it rides really good.
Did you recalibrate the truck at all for the larger tires? Or you just kind of rolling with what it's giving you?
I thought about getting scanner I've seen and all that stuff, but the thing was, I go with Waze on my CarPlay, and it's right there in the middle. It tells me my actual speed limit, which is about 8 to 9 miles difference than the speedometer says. If I go to sell it, I may change it, but for me, it's fine.
Well, let's get into that suspension, Doug, because again, the Rough Country, it's a 3.5-inch upper control arm suspension lift. Now, if you could just summarize, why did you go with not only this kit, but this size?
As far as I could see, I think there was a bigger lift out there, but I thought, with the stock height, 3.5 inches would be perfect. My main concern was the tires clearing. After you remove the crash bars, I wanted to make sure, I could get full lock-to-lock steering, and I figured 3.5 inch would be good. And, I also have passengers. I'm 6'4". My passengers aren't as tall as me. So I also need to think, how high do I want to go with this thing? I thought 3.5 inches was the perfect height for it.
Sounds like those crash bars are out of the equation, but did you encounter any rubbing at all?
Not on the road, but on the trail. If I was turning hard, it would rub a little bit, but not enough to be a real concern.
Well, what about the way it looks currently with your wheel and tire setup?
I think it looks great. If you don't look back at your car after you park it, you don't have the right car. That thing just grabbed my attention. I wouldn't have the truck if I couldn't make it look the way it looks now.
Is there anything you would have done differently, perhaps?
No. I had a vision for it. I made it exactly the way I envisioned it. I'm notorious for not keeping cars a long time, but this is one that my wife and I really enjoy.
Well, you did a great job, Doug. The truck looks awesome. Honestly, the 37, I think, is a must, especially with that lift size. And well done, sir. It looks great.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. That was Doug again with his 2021 Big Ben Ford Bronco, again with the 17x9 Deviate Off-Road 886 wheel, 17x9 with that negative 12 millimeter offset, 37 1250 R17 Nexan Rodian MTX tire. And then again, making it all possible is the Rough Country 3.5-inch upper control arm suspension lift. So Doug, thanks again, man. And guys, thanks for watching at home. And remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.